Yeah.
I was trying to figure out a way to make it automatically do it. I'll try it.
Okay, 6:22, I want to read in order. Stand for pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Agenda review. And only in the last meeting, there were a lot of items tabled, but we'd like to change it if it could, or have to vote on it. We want to move John Harrison up to number 6. Again, you want to move. What's the other one? The July flood reconciliation up to number 9. Does anyone have a problem with that?
John Harrison is number 6, eh?
Well, that's the reorganized agenda, Mike. Oh, so there's 2 agendas. I left the original one as it is.
Okay, well, I'm looking at the one that's in the packet, so.
Yeah, okay, so, if everyone's on board with that, then I move, if it's necessary, I move that we go with this reorganized agenda. There's happy? Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Comments from select board members of anything that is not on the agenda? Town manager? Okay. Anything from any of the citizens in the audience that's not on the agenda?
I should have a comment, but
Go ahead.
um.
Town manager Lottie has comments.
Sorry. We don't have a recording secretary right now, so I'm gonna be taking the minutes. I'm gonna do it from the recording tomorrow, so just letting you guys know.
Okay. Review minutes from the previous meeting of 8/25. Okay, oh, 8/25, that was the last meeting, that's right, 8/25 is fine. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? I move we approve the minutes of 8/25, is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll abstain just because I wasn't there, even though Mike tells me I don't have to.
I'll abstain too, because I was very good. Okay, motion carries. The meeting of August the 27th, I believe, was the one that was over at the Perkinsville School. Or the Hoisington Field discussion.
There's it's basically a typo, but number 3, the Hoisington Master Plan. On the second line, towards the end, it says reflects, and then REFLECTS as opposed to
Reflects.
Where is that again? I'm sorry.
the second paragraph. Or, sorry, number 3, item number 3, the Hoisington Master Plan.
Page 6 of 78.
On the second line, it says, I think it's the next to the last word, says reflex with an X instead of
Okay.
F, okay? Reflects as in usual.
Then I have a comment on the motion under item number 4 says to adopt the Hoisington Field Comprehensive Master Plan as presented in April 2025. And I believe the motion was to adopt the Hoisington Field Comprehensive Master Plan dated April 2025 as presented.
Okay. Yep,
It wasn't presented in.
yeah, I see.
It's dated April 20, that's the version that we adopted.
Yep.
And we didn't make any changes.
Do you guys want to approve that with those two changes? Or do you want me to revise it and then?
Oh, no, we go. Go ahead.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're on to Mr. Harrison, Weathersfield School update.
Thank you. Weekly second report, and hopefully I find something to talk about every month while school was in session. We took August off because, the we didn't take. School year began August 27th. All staff positions are staff. Enrollment K through 5 is 159. 6 through 8 is 80. In a minute, we'll talk a little bit about Act 73 and those numbers will have a little more relevance than just being a number. We have 2 more years left on our bond vote. So we'll be budgeting $845,000 this coming year, excuse me, half of $845,000 this coming year. 1 more year after that, the school will be paid for. And once again, Act 73 may give us a big surprise. Last time when I spoke, I talked about the special ed fund and the deficit that it was running. And at that time, I really didn't understand how the money flowed, and I had talked with the CFO. And I got a better picture on how the money flows and why they can't give you a definitive number. When we're working on our budget, which we're starting tomorrow night, there'll be a budget number for special ed within the SU budget. And it is a best guess. 1 or 2 kids move in, 1 or 2 kids move out that require special ed funding, and that includes any kid that's on IEP, individual education plan. And so that can significantly affect the budget. The other part of it, and Nate probably is well aware of this, that there's a pot of money in Montpelier for special ed. And when it gets drained down, you never know exactly what's gonna come down from Montpelier, which leaves a big if. Last time I said it was $1 million, and the CFO told me, but that's not a firm number. And right now, the way I understand it, it's down below 400,000, and they think they're gonna get 1 more payment. So it's not as bad as we thought. Our responsibility for that is 25%. Once again, it's still red ink, which makes it hard to start your budget process when you already know you're running red ink. We're also starting fund balance of 0. The current budget year that we're working out of right now, the fund balance was used to draw down the tax rate. So that is a double whammy where you are not artificially, you've reduced your tax rate that won't be available this coming year, plus a deficit number that's gonna be probably somewhere around $100,000, makes the whole budget process quite difficult. The other thing that is still the weighting of students, WEIGHT, is in its 3rd year of implementation. It's progressively being ramped in, and we were on the short end of the stick with that. So that's going to also have an effect on our budget. The other thing that's going to have an effect on the tax rate, CLA is running 64%. So that took another tick down. So anyway, it's going to be a tough budget year for the school. Maybe even a little bit tougher than the town, but it's going to be tough. Act 73 is just starting to get off the ground a little bit. The task force has been formed to actually form the new SUs, and they haven't even decided how many there's going to be. I've heard 11 or 13. My guess is it's going to look something like the county layout, but not necessarily with the county borders, but I think you're going to find that's going to be somewhat of the size. What effect does that have on Weathersfield? You could ask 6 people, you'll probably get 6 different answers. Going back to the population numbers that I gave a minute ago, Under Act 73. Grades. What did I write down here? 2 through 5 is 12. The minimum in a classroom. We're okay, you still can have 2 classes with the numbers we got right now. There's no guarantee that those trends will continue with the same class sizes, but they've been fairly steady now for a while. 6 through 8 is 15, and if you do simple math, we're a little bit deficient on that. So, how that sugars off, remains to be seen in the future. You could go, but right now we got 2 classes in 6, 8, and 9, excuse me, 6, 7, and 8. We may end up with 1. That would be a teacher would end up with 26 kids in their class. And in today's environment, 26 kids in a class is pretty tough. Whether or not with this new system, you can peel away a couple of kids from another school district. Once again, all that is completely in the air. Quite a while back, it was discussed that the town and school would have a link on their web pages so you could easily transfer from one to the other. The school has one on there, right on the front page. Click on it, it goes to the town budget. I don't think the town's set one up yet. I know you got website design coming up, but that's kind of important. It creates a certain amount of transparency within the community, and it makes it easy for somebody to get a clear picture on where everything stands. That's about it for today. Anybody got any questions? We meet tomorrow night, and we actually got some of our preliminary budget numbers today that were sent out. They didn't total them, so I don't know exactly how they're gonna come out, but needless to say, with insurance and everything else that goes up, I don't think it's much down, but expenses have gone up and they're continuing to go up at an accelerated rate, which is a little bit scary.
What time is the meeting in here?
6:30, music room. You can go in, if you park, use the side, kind of. What would have been the door going in towards the cafeteria, the old cafeteria.
Go ahead, Mike.
Wow. I remember when we were dealing with fund balances here. You were on the board for many years that we had, when Jim created the new tax delinquent rules and payments started rolling in, and things were looking pretty good. But when you get to the end of that, like you said, you've artificially reduced the tax rate by infusing fund balance, and now you don't have one. That does. How much was that last year, John?
I don't remember.
I think it was close to a couple $100,000.
Something like that, which out of the $6 million budget isn't huge, but nonetheless, it's an amount right now that we gotta make up in the budget we're gonna be working on. And I said I want to set up there, that using your entire fund balance to lower taxes in 1 year is not a good idea.
No, well, I agreed with you on that. That was one of the things we agreed with a long time. Brandon, the school tax rate's not the same as the town tax rate, right?
No.
Okay. What is the penny equal to against the grand list in the school tax rate? Anybody know that?
So it's the same. So the penny is the same.
That still comes out the same. So if you got a couple $100,000, it might be a $6 million budget, but a couple $100,000 is like, what, 8 cents? 6 cents?
That's where you start.
6.5 cents, just that part without. Yeah.
The math doesn't quite work out that way, but yeah.
Yeah, because of I get that.
And if anybody's followed Act 73, the block grant they helped me out, is less than 16,000.
Last I heard, they have not yet. You
Yeah.
talking about special block grant? Or you
It's
talking-
actually a number that's in the bill. So I have no idea how that's gonna work out because
Yeah,
right now.
I think that variable, that number is still variable.
Pardon me?
I think that number, last I heard, was still variable depending on the district.
Yeah.
And. But it's gonna be interesting, right? Cause
Yeah.
we won't vote on a school budget anymore, which is.
Eventually, whether or not Weathersfield School exists. My gut feeling is that it will. Will it still be the Weathersfield School, or will it be part of, will we be drawing kids in from Cavendish or something? All bets are off until this completely shares off, and it's supposed to be fully implemented by 2028. Or the new SU is supposed to be fully functional by 2028. And keep in mind that the current SU, granted, we send quite a bit of money, but I've learned that they do a lot. I mean, the special ed, they do all our books, right down to incidentally our audit will begin, they're just beginning the audit. So we're not gonna. I won't mention any names, but anyway, that we do audit every year and the audit is beginning, so we won't even know for sure. The CFO said that it looked like we were on mark to come right about zero, so we don't anticipate a fund balance going forward. Hopefully it's not the other direction, but. And one thing that I'm gonna be very aware of is to pay more attention to the quarterly reports on finances. So that in January or even earlier, you can cut discretionary spending. And it's better to find out that you're on the right side of the line than the other side of the line, because by April or May, it's really too late to correct that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Personnel policy update.
The package online didn't show the markup, so I printed a copy for everyone to see. There were just couple changes that I made in that document. The Selectboard has asked me to bring 3 versions of the dress code, so I haven't addressed it in the big packet. I just gave you a separate handout to look at the 3 versions and do you want me to read it out loud really quick? So I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at it. Version 1 would be straightforward. As representatives of the town of Weathersfield, employees are expected to maintain a professional appearance that reflects the town's commitment to high quality public service. Attire should be appropriate to the employee's role and work environment and convey respect for the community and colleagues. Version 2 would be more flexible and based on the role employees have. As a representative of the town of Weathersfield, employees are expected to maintain a professional appearance that reflects the town's commitment to a high quality public service. Employees should dress in a manner suited to their duties and work setting, using sound judgment to ensure a professional presentation. And version 3 would be the community image. As representatives of the town of Weathersfield, employees are expected to maintain a professional appearance that reflects the town's commitment to a high quality public service. Appearance should support a positive image of the town and be consistent with the standards of a professional public service environment. And if you have a preference, whatever it is, I would then put it in the policy for first reading. So I haven't put anything in because I didn't know the board would like.
I like 3. And the reason I like 3 is because the first 2 both say attire should be appropriate, or employees should dress in a manner suited to their duties. To me, it opens that door of subjective questioning or debate about what is or isn't. Where the other doesn't really open that door. Appearance should be supported by a positive image of the town, consistent with the standards of a professional public service environment. And I mean, I guess they're all at some point going to be subjective to some level. But this one, I think opens the door the least to somebody complaining about a shirt or skirt or whatever type things. That's just my opinion.
I actually made a hybrid of 2 and 3. Employees should dress in a manner suited to their duties and be consistent with the standards of a professional public service environment. We're kind of splitting hairs.
Well, yeah, but my reason for removing employees should dress in a manner. Oh, those are the words that open that door to
Okay.
subjective interpretation. Yes, no?
Explain
Um,
the should part.
no, you should dress, no, it's saying you should dress in a manner. Appearance should be supportive of a positive image of the town and consistent with the standards of professional public service environment. Like I said, I think all of them convey some level of subjective nature regardless, because you know, and whose job is it to come in and say, that shirt's inappropriate, that skirt's too short? I mean, I don't know if I came in like this and I was dealing with I mean, it's fine in a motorcycle shop, but it might not be fine in an office. You know, but you didn't wear a tie today. You know, you come in too casual. Well, it's not casual Friday. You know, you don't, do you really want to have that stuff going on? And that's I guess what I'm talking about. You just trying to keep it. You know, I don't know. I just don't want to open the door to nitpicking at what people are doing.
I agree with you there.
Can it be summed up as sort of business casual or something like that? Or is that also something that's open to interpretation?
Actually, I'm sorry, I kind of was thinking of something and I really wasn't listening to you, so you have the floor, so go.
I was wondering whether, just shortening it or, you know, sort of abbreviating it to business casual. Whether that covers the basis, for, you know, it leaves some room for interpretation. Just makes it clear that you're talking a business environment and not, you know.
Well, that's what three does that, but you know what I was thinking about as you started speaking was. Give the directive to it's the town manager's discretion. Put that right in there, that so it's not a matter, it's not so much a matter of, you know, this employee doesn't like what that employee is wearing, or, you know what I mean? They can go to the town manager and say, hey, I'm offended by that shirt, that skirt, it's too short, or, and I'm using women, and I don't mean to be doing that, I mean.
That.
I know, but. It could be a guy, maybe, you know, in today's world, we see people walking around with their underwear hanging around. No, you're not doing that. Okay, I mean, let's use some common sense. And I think the town manager, he's the office manager, he has that discretion and I mean, unless it's him that comes in with his pants hanging around his knees.
Bikinis are safe. Bikinis are safe. Would the board be okay to combine it and leave the first part and then employees should dress in a manner suited to their duties and work settings and be consistent with standards of a professional public service environment?
That sounds good to me.
But it's just a combination of 2 and 3, and I will put it in, and you still have to go all through the readings and can change.
No, that sounds better to me. I look forward to seeing Ray enforcing that on the road crew.
Okay, we'll change that.
I don't like orange hats.
You're gonna do a calendar fundraiser, you'll get that.
Awesome.
Another stipulation was for us to meet with all the employees and talk about the bi-weekly payroll, so we have done that. We met with employees here at the town office and the library. They seem to be having no issues switching to bi-weekly payroll at all. There were no questions or concerns, they just wanted to know when that would take effect. we met with Highway today and, I had prepared, we have an employee assistance program, I can't remember if I mentioned that before. It's Invest EAP and they have different, resources available. But last week I took the time and looked into it, what they would have available on like, just some advice and some, counseling on, financial situations, and they have resources available to get help. But also they have some budgeting tools, and I found this interesting, and it would apply to anyone, no matter what payroll that would be. But, I have someone that is willing to come out and present it to everyone. We have to find the date that works for everyone to bring them together. From Invest EAP, Employee Assistance Program, and, I wanted to specialize that topic only for the financial, budgeting training. They have other options too. They will give a brief overview what else they offer, but, I thought it's very interesting. It's for anyone, suited for anyone. As long as you're employed for the town, you can call them. It's anonymous, so they don't have to say, I'm Suzanne Terrell and I have financial, burdens. It goes without the names, and, they can give advice and have resources depending on where they live, what town they live in. Every town has different, systems, help systems available. And no matter what we do, I think it would be good for everyone to, utilize that. I also, when we talked about that, was one thing that was brought forward was the, taxes, higher taxes being without, with higher earnings, and it is dependent on how much more earnings you have, that is correct, and as I said before, you can adjust this with withholdings, and I give a explanation on how to do that, so it's not about exceptions for allowances to change on IRS withholding, federal or state withholdings, it's by deduction, so I will meet one-on-one with the employees if they wish, and take it on a case-by-case basis, because everyone has different deductions that come out of their paycheck. Some have wage garnishments, others make voluntary deferrals. Everyone files differently, right? If they're single, married, filing jointly, filing separately, and it's depending on their rate of pay and their deductions, what that would look like, and it's depending on how much more. And when I say that, I mean, how much overtime, right? If you make $1,000 at one week and you're getting taxed on a tax bracket that's, let's say, $1,200, and as long as you're under that $1,200, this, your tax is taken out. Now, if you sum it up, you have a bi-weekly payroll, you have the double amount, you have $2,000. Now, you're hitting that $1,200, and these are not real numbers, I'm just giving an example, it's way higher than that, but there is a slight difference, of a few dollars, that in the end, they always will make the same for the year. If you make $50,000 a year, if you're getting taxed on your withholdings, that never changes, it's just in that moment what's withheld, and it can be adjusted with a deduction, so I did explain that, and if people want to utilize that, I recommended caution, because you don't want to not withhold enough and then you have to pay, and I don't want anyone to get in a situation like this, but. I thought I got positive feedback, there were a few that did not like the change at all, which is understandable. They live with that paycheck, and it has been, as long as they've worked here, and it's a weekly. They do their job and they have been getting their pay for that week work, and I do understand that. The majority took it positive, and at this point, to give more time, I would recommend the change January 1st, because the board will need to go through all the readings. But I want to have an extra pillow just in there that everyone can prepare ahead of time. And saying January 1st, meaning this in January, the first one would be a regular payroll, we would not have that, it would be the next pay date that we. So January 1st would be the third week that wouldn't be paid, so it would give, over 3 months per
That's consistent with the fiscal year,
calendar,
calendar, yeah,
so.
Yeah.
I-
tax year,
Mhm.
tax year.
Yeah, and I noticed that it was an error in the address, which hadn't recently updated on page 6. I haven't caught this before, but when I was looking through it even more, I saw that they just recently changed their address in Boston. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, so they are now on 15 New Sudbury Street. So I put this change in, and then the only thing that I changed this part is the 15-minute break, that would be on page 7. Or it starts at page 7, I didn't have that in there, unfortunately, it marks it all up in red, but, we were just talking before about the 30 minutes. And, Gary had brought up that these 15 minutes, also should be in the policy, so that's what I had written.
Could I suggest in that, well, you don't care if they're rest breaks, they just get a 15-minute break, right? I mean, that's the way it. I would take out extraneous language in my opinion, but
Just break. Yeah, absolutely.
you're not telling them what to do on their break.
Yeah. That's the definition of the DOL. I just took the language, but that's fine, I think that's fine.
On page 8, in talking about the paid 30-minute break, which should be taken on site whenever possible. If an employee needs to leave the regular place of work for any reason, including breaks, personal errands, or appointments, they must clock out before leaving. Should we, just for the sake of argument, add to that this is. The reason for this is a lot of liability, right? Because if something happens out there when they're on the clock, then now you're on the town's ticket. So should we put there, this is not paid, or it's not compensated or something like, I know it's supposed to be clear, but should we add to it to make sure that it says this, they must clock out before leaving. This is not paid time, something that just makes it very clear that you're not getting paid. When you clock out, you're not getting paid. You know that, everybody knows that,
Say that,
huh?
right, it doesn't clearly say that.
No, but I just wonder if it should.
It should.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah, it needs to be reworded.
If you just add that to the end of that sentence, you could even put in parentheses, this is not paid time. Because it says they must clock out before leaving. This is not paid time, period. You know, so it's really clear that they're not on, we want to make sure everybody, including the lawyers that are coming after us, know that they're not on our time at that point, if something happens.
There was a nudgy little detailing thing of, in the grammar section under comp time.
Where are we?
Fine.
Comp
Page
time, I haven't found it yet. but it's-
23?
Is that where it was going to come?
It's on page 20, right?
23?
23.
22.
Okay, so, and I, of course, I haven't read you the red part there, so it may have been corrected. I did a version that came to us, was sent to us earlier. It just was unclear. It says, the comp time is earned at a rate of 1.5 hours. And so it wasn't clear. Is that 1.5 hours?
Okay,
Is
yeah.
that, it was just,
Yeah.
not clear. And also, this is, I'm sorry, I'm blushing to even say that, but
Yeah, it doesn't be word and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
40 is FORT.
Ray, I'm curious what you think, sort of how this is gonna receive, sort of, by your department. changes about this, I mean, I got the pay part, like, I understand the
I know that I had some employees that. Tried playing something on their lunch break, to run home and do something, whatever, they're bunch out. We get a paid lunch, so it's nothing, is it not enough time for their clock, I guess, apparently. One of the guys runs home and punched out to run home for lunch
That's a dog, yeah.
and. Checks on something and comes back and we're not gonna get paid. But then again. They're funny sometimes. One of the guys run home to. Check something at their house, something's going on, and they use their lunchtime to go do that, so they wait for the workday. You know, punch out to go run and do that errand, but not get paid. So it encourage them. To take personal time to go do an errand like that.
And are you saying that if somebody brings their lunch and eats it actually on the job, they do get paid for their lunch?
Right, that's the way this reads.
Suzanne, you wanna go first?
I actually, I had something happen, that's why I say that, and, it was a break, and the company fought it after, but there was a deer jumping out, and it was a very bad accident. The employee was airlifted, but the cost was right over $100,000, and the company, of course, argued did not want to pay that. There was no second policy, and it affected experience month, the workers' comp experience month, because it became a workers' comp issue, and it's depending on what cost you accumulate on what injuries you have, what you will pay in that insurance. So experience month is driving at 99% of the time, nothing is happening, but that 1%, if something really happens, the town would be liable, and they might want to take that risk, that's fine too. Whatever you want me to write.
So the other part of it, the paid lunch. For me, I thought was part of a discussion where this is for in here. Because upstairs, the employees. They continue to work through their lunch so that they're providing the services to the town. I'm not sure that's true for you guys over there, are you? I mean, you take your lunch break, you sit down and eat lunch, you're not. Dealing with the public coming in and.
Yeah, I mean, like, they take staggered lunch, there was things going on, and somebody had lunch at 12, and somebody else had it at 12, it's not set, everybody's gonna sit down.
Sure, yeah, well, and that works too, and that could work upstairs as well, but I think when somebody leaves. Punches out and leaves. I think we gotta be careful of the liability that goes with that. But I mean, that's our job, is to look out for the town. I mean, I understand we're looking out for employees too, they're part of the town and they're an important part of our town. I think I've heard it said before, they're our most important asset, and I agree with that. But when it comes to leaving the premises and you're not on the company's time. We can't be putting the town in a liable situation.
Suzanne, before we make a major decision like this. Can you just clarify the liability part?
Yeah.
So I don't 100%.
So let's say the accident occurs and.
But we drive to conferences, we go down there with us,
But-
our employees, like.
But yeah, that's different, because you are on paid time, this is your job and duty to do, if you go to a meeting. This is what you're doing and you're on town time, but when you take your lunch break to do something. Private. I mean, whatever the board decides, it becomes a different issue, if you're not clocked out and there's no policy that regulates that, it will become. Worked time. Legally saying work time, and if something happens, and that could be higher, but. It would be considered workers' comp, whatever cost will be approved, and if an employee of ours would hit someone else. That whole cost, the insurance will go after our insurance carrier to get that compensated, and the higher that cost is, the higher the experience month.
Is
The lower it will be.
this language consistent with other towns in the region?
It is, I know that other towns not necessarily follow the guideline or follow the policy, so.
What do you mean? You mean like they have them clock out, but they still get a paid lunch? I mean, which to me would seem like the
They
logical.
don't.
But you could have them clock out and just pay a 30-minute lunch, right? When they're
You
on
could, yeah,
Real good.
that. That's,
If you get,
that's what we do.
if you get a paid lunch, somebody clocks out, I if I was on the clock, for instance, I clocked out to run, put wood on my windshield in winter. And then came back, I would get paid, but I wouldn't be on the clock.
Correct, but
So technically, I would be off the clock as far as working, and if I slid off the road and hit somebody, it wouldn't be workers' comp. You get a paid lunch, but you're not, once you physically punch out, you're not working for the town. I don't know how it works, that's why I'm asking.
I think that's the question we need the answer to.
I understand trying to cover the town, I also understand that I have some dedicated employees try to use their break to go do something like that.
I think that's gonna negatively impact our workforce. So of the 40 hours, actual time work is 35 hours because there's 5 hours of breaks. So what if we just did a 35-hour work week? With an hour paid,
Well, that's basically what we're
but
doing.
you clocked out. That's what we
that's
do.
what you're saying. Yeah, is that you're sort of saying the same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just done, it's structured differently.
I just run that through VLCT or something. Just make sure that we're covering what we're looking to cover.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it, what you're talking about, Ray. I just wanna make sure
It doesn't
that,
happen a lot, it does happen.
right,
There's cabin using the one guy, and just go and check it out real quick, no, I was on checks on it, comes back.
It would work 4 days, so I would give them 5 hours.
Let me write it up, like, and show you what it would look, it wouldn't negatively impact.
Work
Yeah,
30
you know,
it's not any different than it is now.
Yeah,
It's the same thing, it's just structured differently so that when an employee clocks out for that 1 hour. It's not gonna affect their pay.
And it's not gonna be on our. It'd be no different than me taking first time to go to a doctor appointment and punch out and leave. I'm getting paid, but using very little time, so I'm not gonna get insurance, I'm gonna get in an accident.
it's hours.
I gotta say, I've never had,
Does that.
I never had a job that I got paid for lunch. I always punched out for lunch.
But regardless, right, if that's the agreement that we've had,
I understand, I just wanted to say.
don't you employ yourself?
I do now, I
You
did
should pay yourself
26.
better.
I don't give a lunch, shit, period.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start a loss in this, but I'm.
I think it's
I think
legitimate,
it's
right?
okay, and I think it's just a matter of finding the language that works, I think it's fine.
I still want people to be able to clock out on their lunch and.
Right.
Go check on their dog if that's what they wanna do, but their hour, it's their hour, so.
We gotta have an hour. Yeah,
It's
so.
that.
Hey, that's why you couldn't figure out where you're getting an hour from. Hour, sorry.
Yeah.
But my math is different from yours.
So what I'm hearing is conceptually, the town not being liable makes a lot of sense. Conceptually, keeping with past practice makes a lot of sense. So just figuring out how to keep with past practice and maybe not accept. Liability would be.
If we
fantastic.
check with VLCT that this is. Acceptable, and I think it will, because it. Serves the break, but doesn't have the employee on the books. Does the board feel like I should add this in and you could move to a first reading with this part in, or would you like? To discuss it again after it's done?
Well, you can adopt some, change something after first reading anyways, right?
That's
So
what
I would.
that's the whole purpose, yeah.
I would, if you can, I mean, that's the spirit of, but I'm speaking for myself, right? Like, I think that would make sense.
Did you add in the changes that Kelly requested? For Christmas and New Year's?
I didn't.
Okay. You can revise that stuff.
That just matched the school schedule, I think, didn't it?
No, what I did was, I spoke to Brandon when I came in to do the agenda. And I said to him, instead of having the floaties holiday, why don't we just give them the day before Christmas and the day before New Year's off? Just like everyone else would have it off,
And it's automatic.
and then it's automatic, and you can get rid of the floating holiday, you don't have to worry about it, the only people that get it will be the town garage. The town,
The dump for some, for
yeah,
Easter,
transfer station,
for Easter.
they get Sunday for Easter, yeah, because they don't get all the other holidays.
Well, they're the only ones that work on Sunday.
Yeah,
It makes sense to me because what kind of traffic do we have on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve, Superman? Looking for not much.
Just the guy delivering the wine.
My only question is, let's say it both fall on a Saturday and a Sunday,
you would get before,
Friday and Monday.
Friday and
I
Monday,
think that's the way it works.
Okay.
except for the highway crew.
They have to work if it's stormy.
They would get Thursday and Monday. Because they don't.
She didn't get it.
Who's picking? Sorry.
It hasn't snowed in Christmas in years.
I just figure that way it gives them time to be with their family the day before and the day of. On the day, so. Yeah. I just figured it was only fair just to see what it worked out for you guys, I mean, I was just an idea, I didn't.
I went and I threw that thing out with highway and I was making a joke, but I might have opened up another can. So the highway, I mean, if it snowed, if let's say a holiday is on the weekend, they get Friday and Monday off.
Thursday and Monday, fine.
Thursday, Monday.
Yeah.
What about the 4 hours on the Friday? Oh, they don't work, you guys only work a 4-day week, okay, Thursday and Monday. Okay, so.
If it snows on the day of the big holiday,
Yeah,
that's the day we get a time, that's the day we'll get the holiday plus the overtime. If it's snow on Saturday and Sunday, and we get work, we would not get holiday plus time and a half.
where does comp time fit into any of that?
If somebody chooses not to take overtime, they can take comp time.
Okay.
Doesn't affect.
Alright, so we have no problem, alright,
So that's incorrect. If the holiday is on a Saturday and a Sunday, and let's just say. It snows from Thursday to Monday. We will have to pay because the actual holidays on a Saturday and Sunday. And you're coming in on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday. We will have to pay time and a half. It had happened in the past.
that's kind of where I was going.
I was getting at, their holidays on Saturday. Yeah, and we're getting paid for Thursday off, that's the day the town is celebrating it. If I came in on Saturday, I would not get holiday pay plus time and a half, that never happens.
You would, because you're working on the actual holiday, plus also we had to pay, it had happened, we also paid the observed day off, which was this Thursday. As time. and a half. It only happened one time, as long as I'm here, but. Because it's the holiday, and it says if you work on a holiday, it doesn't specify. I mean, you can change anything in here, but it doesn't specify it's an observed holiday. Or it's the real holiday. Because the real holiday is still the real holiday, Christmas is still the 25th, if you have to come in, you can't be with your loved ones then,
I can see him getting time and a half for working that Saturday. Or for Saturday, but I wouldn't see him getting time and a half for Thursday if they didn't work Thursday. If they just cut the holiday, the observed holiday is paid flat rate for Thursday, they have to come in and work on Saturday, they get time and a half for Saturday.
do you want me to specify that, do you want me to say that?
That's, it should be common knowledge.
Does that sound right, Ray?
We're giving them a day, doesn't mean that.
Why?
We're giving them Christmas, but we're not.
If you don't work, work on the observed,
I'm gonna simplify it and say. Saturday is Christmas,
yes,
the town gives us Friday off for the holiday. So we
okay,
get 10 hours to this day.
Yeah.
10 hours to not work the holiday on Friday.
yeah,
If we get called in on that Friday, we're gonna get that 10 hours automatically,
yeah,
and then you're gonna get time and a half, it's over for you.
yeah,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
That's not gonna happen on Saturday too. Because you get the holiday pay for Friday, you're not gonna give us holiday pay for.
You would get double.
No, but you'd get time and a half.
You wouldn't get the holiday plus them.
That's what I was getting at.
That's
So that's what I
Yes.
heard.
That's what I was, yeah, make that clear. Yeah. Yeah, cause it sounded like somebody said that you're gonna get time and a half for Thursday, even if you didn't work Thursday, but you had to come in on Saturday and work Saturday, and you got time and a half on Saturday and time and a half for Thursday that you just had off.
You get double time and a half on
Yeah.
on the town.
On the actual
that
holiday.
Friday off.
Yeah.
Saturday you get time and a half.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, just make those things.
I want to make that a little bit more difficult.
Okay,
Overtime does not only count as work time, holidays, sick time, vacation time, all count in. And it starts on the beginning of the pay period, which for us is a Sunday.
right.
So
I get
anything,
that.
anything that you work, anything that comes after
Mhm.
will count into overtime.
That's what I said. So if they took Thursday off, they got paid for it, cause it's a holiday. But they had to come in and work on Saturday, they're gonna get time and a half.
Also on Thursday. Because-
Not time and a half on Thursday, cause they didn't work Thursday.
Yes,
No,
Correct.
I'm saying they didn't work Thursday.
I know, but the holiday, the 10-hour holiday counts into overtime. Everything counts into overtime, sick time, vacation time, and holiday. So
Well, that wouldn't be overtime unless they had already worked some other overtime.
except,
You,
no,
you got 40 and then you keep going.
Monday is 10, Tuesday is 10, Wednesday is 10,
Thursday's
Thursday
10.
10 holiday, so you're at 40. Now
Yeah.
you're coming in and work on Thursday, everything.
Oh, no, that's not what I said.
You say if you're not working.
You're not working on Thursday.
Okay,
That's that's the part you're missing. I said not working Thursday. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good.
Alright, so you'll put all those in,
I will.
okay, and we'll do a first reading at the next.
Next week.
Thanks, Susan.
Thank you, Suzanne.
You're welcome.
Wait a minute, you wanna make a motion to send this as first reading?
Can we do that?
Why not?
Okay, make a motion, motion on the floor to make the personnel policy discussion for first reading for our next meeting.
So move.
There's a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, first reading next meeting.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Website discussion? That's. Gilbert? Well.
Leah Dunbar, usually see me for Parks and Rec, but I've also been working upstairs with Suzanne since May. Mostly what I do is help Suzanne with tax payments and filing and stuff like that, but Brandon has also asked me to take on. Helping with revamping the town website. And so just as a disclaimer, I have zero background with websites or technology. However, I've completed all of the trainings available through Civic Plus. And I feel like I have a pretty good knowledge base now on working on the website, as well as Civic Plus has been really easy and responsive to work with when I have limitations. So I don't know exactly what we want to talk about tonight, but I think we can all agree that the website needs some work. Make it more usable for everybody. With that being said. We do have a usable website and it is a really good foundation. It's just that information needs to be updated and features such as the calendar and alerts. Should be used.
The budget was mentioned earlier. Yeah, a link to the budget.
Yeah,
Well, no, I think what John would like is a quick link to the list of schools.
Takes you automatically to the school.
So now it looks like.
I got you. I got you.
So on the school, it had this quick link.
Yeah.
And you click it, it should goes down.
yeah.
And I think we just won't cross that and have one somewhere.
Yep.
On the site photos.
I get you.
Definitely. So I have this action plan, but I think what it really breaks down to is I think the most effective thing for me to do would be to meet with each of the departments and boards and kind of sit down with them and see what they would like changed on their respective pages. You know, like what kind of questions is Floanne constantly getting that somebody could just look on the website instead, or Suzanne, or Brandon, I think You know, what kind of forms would it be helpful for Ryan to have up there so the public can just access them? That's kind of one thing, and then I think also it would be really helpful to survey the public and see what they want out of the website. I understand this has been done before. I just read something earlier today that a survey was attempted a previous year. I've never seen any documentation or results from that though.
Do you know what year that was?
No, I haven't seen it.
I don't.
Survey about what?
About what the citizens want to see on the website.
Oh,
Or what
oh,
changes.
okay.
Cause I was thinking it would be good to throw together, you know, a Google form and have the residents give input to guide what I'm doing, cause the website is for the residents, it's to make their lives easier. They should be able to go on the website and find what they need, without having the policy exam for the 200th time.
Yeah, we're not all Brandons, okay? This guy is scary on a computer. He moves so fast, it makes your head spin.
Yeah.
That's not me. I think that's what you said, it's not you
It's
either.
not,
Great, then you're a good person to do this, make it easy.
and again, it's the website works great, it's just that the information isn't there. And so it's just a matter of me collecting the correct information. And
Even better.
Do we have a link on the website, and I just haven't checked it, so I'm just asking. Where, do we do any kind of emergency notification or anything like that? I know when I lived in the city, you know, you could sign up and they would say, there's a snow warning, reminder you can only park on the, you know, blah, blah, blah.
right.
And that would be automatically. Do we have anything like that?
Yeah, there's an alert, Brandon just
Oh, perfect.
flipped it, and it's not in use, but it is a feature that we have at our disposal. Not used,
We have the feature.
we have the feature, it's just never, to my knowledge, it's never been used.
No, we've never used that. We,
Um,
it was we put it on there when we intended to use it. We don't have a person designated to create the content.
Got it.
And push out the alerts.
Isn't there already an existing, like format with Google? Where like you could see like there's an accident somewhere and you know, traffic's blocked over here or something like, isn't there something like that that could actually be linked in? So you just click on it and you, so it's not something that has to be updated by somebody here, it's just a link to something that's already out there working. I mean, I know what Brandon has told me, it works for the police. You can tell where the police are, you know, when you're driving up the interstate, you know, there's one up there. Cause there's a little app that says so. He told me all about it.
So subscribing to e-alerts, I think if you can get it to work, if somebody clicks on down agendas. Whenever they
When you
post
post an agenda, it should have that.
so stuff like that, I
Right.
think
maybe it is,
and then if we have like urgent alerts, I think we could.
yeah.
You took the training on their
Yeah.
e-alerts, right? Okay. And you know why I was
should set up with Roger Bates through our emergency service? I thought we did.
we have. E-alerts, which is different.
It goes on back to your phone.
Gotcha.
Right,
That's all this is on.
now, Ray, we're come back to you now again. Probably one of our worst seasons is not so much winter as it is, much as it is mud. You know, that would be a good one to maybe even have a link to a map that says,
I know a lot of towns utilize Facebook more than they do a website. Always in your face, it comes out, Westerners are really good at.
Okay,
We'll be working on this culvert next week, or this road is muddy, or this, you know, they have somebody that actually does that. On a routine basis, and I haven't figured out who that is yet.
Like the head of the highway department, kind
I'm
Well,
a tech person.
counterpoint, like I'm not on Facebook.
I was gonna say, there's a lot of people
I
that
would
would,
prefer
yeah.
on that.
But they have it set up so you can't comment on it.
Typically,
If we started getting negative comments or people being, why are you fixing that, not this, and.
typically these websites will feed a Facebook or a social account.
So somebody else.
That you don't have to double post.
So they go, look, that's good.
And Brandon, if you could click back on numbers. If you scroll down. Sorry, if you hit the social media. You can see that, but you can't. It just scrolls through the same last like 3 posts, I think, you can.
And who updates that?
So they,
Yeah, I mean, all of us can.
oh, yeah.
Post, but, it. In the past, as Ray said, there have. Negative discussions evolved, so.
Yeah.
That it's difficult to please them.
Yeah, I don't wanna create a discussion about the fact that the road's muddy, I just want people to know that, hey, you might wanna be careful over here. You know, if this one's closed to, through
If I
traffic.
close the road, we put it on Facebook, we put it on the website.
Yeah, and theoretically, Ray could shoot me an email and I can get it up.
If I know next week,
That's what you want.
Owen Hill's gonna be closed for a day, I can tell them that and they'll put it on the website.
We can,
Oh, no, go ahead.
this feature is called an urgent alert, and I just put this one up today about the town library appraisal. But we could have multiple of these urgent alerts. And if Ray says that Bowen Hill's gonna be closed for a week, I can have it set up so that that banner is there. For a week and disappears by
And it'll,
itself.
and it'll email folks if they,
And it'll
if they have subscribed.
If they check the urgent alert.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay. So it sounds like you're headed in a good direction. You got your hands around this thing and.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I think one of my personal priorities for the website is getting a unified calendar that has all of the boards. Meetings on one calendar so that. Somebody can see exactly what's going on in town right now. Some of the boards have a calendar on the page, some don't. There is apparently a calendar that has everything, but it's hidden under layers and layers of paint.
see, that's the thing that he's good at, is getting through those layers, he just do.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, where do I go now?
Same thing, when people always ask me about what cost brings up the transportation, you can find it, but it takes you a few minutes, you don't have through all the pages and get it, so. Right here.
That's where, I mean, get through what you already seem to have a plan of where you're going and what needs to happen, but at some point, we'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Become easier.
Then I'd like to sit down with Ray and I can take notes on what he needs me to do. And something that Ray and I have talked about is having somebody kind of responsible for the website as a point person. Could really make it easier so that Ray doesn't have to think about the website. That's something. Yeah, it's first to me.
It is having somebody you can send, I can send an email to. And say the road will be closed here, where I don't have to get on the website, type in. Everything, worry about it not being right, it's like. That's two things, something about doing that.
And it keeps the formatting consistent too.
Mm.
Cause there's a lot of. Different ways that things can be published on this website. So. You just keep these.
Yeah, we would. Be thrilled to just have one person doing the website. So they can, if not, we can. Do that.
Or you start a question?
I just wanted to say, I really liked your action plan. It sounds like a good thought out plan that covers what needs to get done. I was just curious if there's a timeline involved with this, and if you are the one that's solely responsible for each of these steps.
Well, so I work. Right now, it's been 6 hours up in the office and then several hours remotely. So it would, depending on the workload, like, stuff like that. Kind of would determine how many hours per week I can dedicate to the website, so I don't know how long something like this would take. And my understanding is that it would be more or less me, I'm sure I can lean on Brandon, for questions and stuff.
I think it's a great thing. They don't cover what needs to get done, and then having one gatekeeper as the website is doing. It's nothing worse than a stale website.
Yeah.
It's useless. Yeah. If you gotta keep it updated.
Absolutely.
I think you're off to a great start.
Brandon, we're gonna head into a budget season. And, maybe you can better answer that question through the budget.
Yep.
That if you're available and we can do it. Maybe we can create some space for a certain amount of time. To get this done.
Yeah, and many other things, I mean, it's gonna be ongoing maintenance of the website. So it's something you can get out of the work for.
Yeah.
And see that.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Julia.
Nice job.
And let me know if you would like anything to make something.
Thank you, Lynn.
Next item on the agenda is the July 2023 flood reconciliation. We're on page 40 and 78 on your iPad.
Right, did everybody read this? Okay, so I won't go back through it again. Just a quick overview, all of our projects are completed. And we didn't spend the 81,000 we anticipated for our town's match. And I'd like the board to consider moving $181,828.70 to the highway reserve accounts. 63, the equipment acquisition reserve fund, and 118 to the highway capital maintenance and improvements reserve fund.
Go ahead, of course.
Highway capital maintenance. I understand capital improvements, but capital maintenance, could you define that?
So capital maintenance would be understand gravel. Paving. Yeah, anything to maintain existing infrastructure or roads.
And this is defined in the upcoming capital plan.
Yes, we actually. I can read you the article from town meeting that created this reserve, if you'd like. Something.
Give us the date on that too, Brent, please.
While he's looking for that, real quick, another thing that this would be good to use for is if I get a grant and we share. On Green Valley Road, we have a share on that, we can take money out of this. The other, last month, we did a slope repair on Bowen Hill that was unbudgeted. And we asked for $20,000 to go towards that. That's why it's good to have money in that, so.
What would we, right, we've been talking to these folks about a salt shed. For like a long time. And would this allow us to use this to fund said salt shed share? When we got to that point, wouldn't that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that'd be considered infrastructure capital usually. Denotes that it's like a big expense over a certain amount. Yeah, it's not a.
So that would go under the highway,
5,000 or more.
the highway capital maintenance is the one we could use for that.
It's one thing, it's capital maintenance and infrastructure is one grant.
Improvement.
One reserve, and the other one's just for equipment.
It says improvements, it doesn't say infrastructure.
Well, it's,
So the article reads, shall the voters of the town of Weathersfield establish a town highway capital maintenance and improvements reserve fund to be used to make improvements and to perform capital maintenance to town highways.
Well,
the capital maintenance just denotes that it's over a certain amount.
but that, because it says to town highways, that allows us to use something like, that's what I'm.
The salt is for town highways.
It's maintenance to the town highways, just like a highway garage or.
I mean, I trust you guys. Okay, I mean, to me, moving this money into something to fund this project that we weren't sure how to fund, but we've done all the grant, or I mean, you had, but. You know, had the design done and is gonna be hard to fund, and that would make a ton of sense to me.
Highway, another way to look at highway capital maintenance is infrastructure. And that's all of it, whether it's the building, except for the actual equipment itself, because that's a separate.
Right, cause the,
And we have
Highway
a
equipment
equipment
acquisition.
policy to see what, you know, it's capital. Or is it $10,000, that's 10,000, 5,000, so anything above $5,000 is considered a capital.
So you wouldn't take 1,500 out of that reserve account. or
Right.
less than that.
I wouldn't buy a chainsaw with it.
And we can't use it to make improvements to the town office.
No,
It's for, it's for the highway department.
right,
yeah, no, I'm good.
I'm good.
Hey,
I am too.
trying to be fully.
I only have one question, is that, because you've got two motions here to go into capital maintenance and improvements reserve. Can those be combined and done in one shot, or do they have to be done separate?
They're from two different
Different
sources.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Motion on the floor to transfer $63,639.82 to the highway equipment acquisition reserve fund.
And $118,000.
Well, I was gonna do it one.
No, that part.
Second motion.
And $118,188.20 to the highway capital maintenance and improvements reserve fund.
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
We received $30,000 from the local economic recovery grant back in September of 2024. At that time, when I notified the board about it, I asked for us to sit on it for a little bit. In the case we needed matching funds for the July 23 floods. We didn't use that 30,000, so I'd like to move that to the highway capital maintenance and improvements reserve fund.
Okay, motion on the floor to transfer $30,000 to the highway capital maintenance and improvement reserve funds.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Motion is moved.
Reconcile.
Now, winter sand updates.
Yeah, we had the opportunity to read this one. Okay. So what I'd like to do here, we currently have, with the motions you guys just made, we have 247,000. And the highway capital maintenance and improvements reserve fund, if this motion passes. Based on the way it's written on Friday, it would have been 179. We don't need the 15,000 for engineering. We need. Here. Sorry, that is written down. So that went down to.
$15,000?
We don't need the engineer.
No, we still need the engineer, the price is just less,
67.5?
8,775 for engineering.
8,771.
Oh, that's nice.
We got a second opinion, and the second price was, no second price. This is an engineer that we work with very frequently.
So what does that change your number down to?
2,500 for winter sand. Plus 8,775. The engineer.
What's the new total?
61,275.
Yep.
I did that faster with a pen than you did with a calculator.
We don't have to, for sand, that doesn't have to go through a bid process.
Okay, we have 4 estimates, actually 3, no, we have 4, it's just the 4th one.
Didn't come saying,
Okay,
Okay, sorry,
too short of a notice.
I got you.
yeah, and there's an analysis there, Nate,
Yep, I see it.
of the 4 bids, or the 4, of the
Was it
3
the bid or just solicited quotes?
solicited quotes.
Because it's below the bid threshold?
No, because we're,
Yes.
If it was July, you probably do it.
that, and, it's just as easy just to call them and get the price per cubic yard, per yard. Than to do with it for sand. You just call them and get these prices. With a project, you wanna have a site visit, you wanna get a vision of the project. These are what they are, right?
Yes,
It's like, well,
it's have a set price.
Wouldn't this also qualify for, in your policy, in your direction, in your job description as, emergency?
yeah, it would be an emergency, so it would bypass it, but we can also. We could buy it in $20,000 increments. Government as well.
Okay.
But even though it is, it could be considered emergency, but it's very important to get as many places to go and shop around, obviously, that's why we already. I've traveled around different places, to check out all those things.
Thank you.
And we don't wanna lock ourselves into. A lump sum amount either, because our permit could get approved and we could be using our pit. Halfway through the winter.
I was just gonna ask about that, if there was any kind of waiver or anything in process or.
Silver lining on this whole fiasco is that we could. When you redo the pit, we could change the operating hours, we could change the volumes, we could add another cut, instead of just the 1.5 we had left, we could add more. It'll be on the bright side, I guess. Good, that we can redo the whole permit. Probably stay positive.
Well, I guess my question would be, has
Right now, it
anybody,
can't all happen December first. Currently had, it's like September 1st to December 1st.
I understand that, I have a question though. And the question is there a possibility of any kind of waiver? Based on the expiration that the A and R is willing to give,
Try,
they wouldn't budge, yeah?
They would not do waivers.
but.
And talking to some of the pits in the area, I found one that was in the same boat a couple of years ago, they almost. Couldn't keep going because they needed to make sense, the permit process to way longer than it should have.
You guys have a final effort. Talk about later, a letter. That will discuss.
Okay. Executive session for any of that stuff,
Yes,
okay. I'm good.
Is there anything we need to decide now or?
We gotta authorize this expense, yes?
there's a motion at the bottom of the letter.
Motion to approve the expense of $52,500 for the purchase of sand from D&D Excavating in Heartland, Vermont. And $8,775 for engineering services from
MSK Engineering,
who?
MSK,
MSK Engineering. For a grand total of $61,275. These funds will be paid from the Highway Capital Maintenance Improvements Reserve Fund.
In all 43.
I got it right here.
Yep.
Different pen, yeah, okay.
Is there a is there? Second, any discussion?
I'm still struggling seeing sand as an improvement.
It's, well, highway maintenance, it's highway maintenance and improvements, to maintain the highway, to help improve it.
I struggle to see it as a maintenance issue. Pretty gravel.
All the different maintenance, so I don't know. All the right sides of maintenance,
Yeah, I can see that, but
sanding the road, grading the road, adding gravel. Finally,
Grading,
so I just typed in rules under sand maintenance, yes, under sand that form of maintenance. Involves applying sands to road. Sand to roads and other surfaces to provide traction and for safety and icy conditions.
it's a little sweet.
Suede?
we did.
Is that suede is in coarse leather or?
No,
Why the blue swing?
All those in favor?
I,
Motion carries.
Bone Hill cover, we issued a request for bids to repair culvert number 23. By constructing a new reinforced concrete invert along its entire length. Ray and I talked about this a lot, this is a giant culvert, 100 feet long, 8.5 feet tall, 7.5 feet wide. To replace this culvert, we're looking at over $350,000. What we're looking to do is repair it. The repair will last between 30 and 35 years. I think it's well worth the 82,000. We can't move forward with Lockville because they can't do it this year. We're looking to do it in the fall, because And we risked the road, the 20,000 we just put into the road. We don't regret the culvert, we risk on doing that work. So we'd like to get it done this fall, Lucko can't do it this fall, Daniels Construction can. So our recommendation is to award Daniels Construction the bid. And then take it out of the highway capital maintenance and improvements reserve fund.
I make a motion to award Daniels Construction the Bowen Hill Culvert Invert Project for total cost not to exceed $82,000. Project will be paid for through the highway capital maintenance and improvements reserve.
Second.
Any discussion? I just have a statement.
Yep.
I don't disagree with what we're proposing to do. What bothers me is kicking this can to the next generation. We know in 30 to 35 years, and maybe sooner, this is gonna have to be done, the whole thing have to be replaced. Can we assure ourselves that our capital plan, we're gonna start putting money away, we're on notice. This needs to be done in 30 years, which may seem like an absurd amount of time away. But it's gonna be here before we know it, and we're just saddling the next generation with a massive.
Absolutely.
Can we put in regular installments towards this in this reserve fund we said?
Yeah, and we do consider roads and bridges. And going out 30 years, we'll do our best, going to scale it possibly then. When we get these.
Yeah, but
I
you
don't wanna
know,
be-
like, whatever you set aside over the next 30 years will be that much less that generation of taxpayers are gonna have to. That's the purpose of planning.
DeForest, are you trying to get to a place where, the money we say that at any point. Most of us may be gone, who knows? 20 years from now, you don't know what's gonna happen and money gets spent. But you had money dedicated specifically for this repair. You wanna keep a finger on that, you wanna know exactly where that number is. So that,
Maybe another reserve fund.
well, either that, yeah, either that or, yeah, I don't know.
Because I feel like we're burdening the next generation with something we know needs to be done.
This is like the next step after the paving plan is completed. The capital plan for paving, once we get that established, we know you can chip seal, you can crack seal, you can pave, but then at full depth reclamation, you know, in 2038, that road's gonna have to be completely gutted and redone. And that's where you plan, you do the same thing with a culvert, a bridge, anything.
Well, this isn't any.
This time, it's time to be able to prepare to actually replace it properly
This gives us time to save some money.
and not forget about it.
I like what Mr. Todd is saying, is that this is not throw the money in a pot, but hope that it doesn't get
I
spent.
think they got to vote that $2,500 a year
For the
in the
recreation.
budget, but it wasn't put in when it saved up, it was 1 years. So
So the recommendation will soon be.
this year,
So that's my only concern. I'm totally supportive of awarding this to Daniels, get it done while it's dry before we have the spring. Doing whatever it could do to make it worse. But I just also want us to make every effort. To lighten the load on the next generation by setting up some kind of capital reserve specifically for this project.
And that's what it would take, just like we did for, the reappraisal. We created a separate account for reappraisal, create one specifically for this road and culvert, because 35 years, you gotta have this money. So, so you can make it pretty minor,
You can't have sub accounts in your reserves,
it's not a sub account, wouldn't be a sub account.
but you can
Wait.
have project accounts in reserve.
So in the capital improvement plan, what you have is listed. Infrastructure that you're gonna replace, and then it shows when you're gonna replace it. So when you develop the capital plan, you start putting money in, and then it'll say like FY 29, you have to replace. X culvert, and that anticipated amount will come out, money goes in, and then it's like, this culvert gets paid for.
Okay.
So it's earmarked for the projects within one reserve account.
it wouldn't be specific.
Okay.
Then money we saved up.
And that's what I was asking and making sure that we're on the same page, because I knew what she was trying to get at, is making sure that money's gonna be there 35 years from now to do that job.
Yeah, so. What that told us is to put this culvert inside that plan. 30 years from now to be paid for.
If we look at the calendar, we're looking at what, 2 more flood events between now and 35 years?
It may happen soon. I don't wanna just turn a blind eye. We're putting a Band-Aid on it now and you guys can deal with it.
And they actually have permit, we got a select permit for this repair. So the state controls what you can do for repair. You have to get a water permit, river permit. So they can tell you, no, you gotta put in the whole new box culvert, to pay $1 million and do it this way, we won't be running the bill, but then you would call next to it, so we can repair it. But then at the time it washes out, or it dies, or it's broken completely again, it has to be repaired totally different way.
And you know it's gonna cost a lot more then,
Right.
than it's gonna cost today.
Okay. All those in favor?
I,
The opposed? The abstentions? Motion carries. Okay. Next item on the rules of procedure discussion.
So the purpose of this. Agenda item and the document is to acquire information that will be used to develop rules. of procedure.
We will need to go through this one.
No. If you guys want to give feedback, via email you're welcome to, or you can.
I've got it written on them. I'm curious why we don't. Two things. Let's usually start with VLCT's model rules procedure that Mr. Todd had given us at the beginning of this year.
Yep.
And secondly, some of the questions probably should be deferred to the ethics commission.
Okay.
If it's an ethical question, the ethics commission should be the one to answer this.
Everybody okay with doing the model rules of procedure from VLCT?
are they here to look at right at this moment? That was a long time ago.
In the packet.
Yeah, I just want to have them go over.
It's just, it's a good jump start.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, VLCT did good.
I do a framework, and you can dig over the details.
Brian, Bosenberg sent that to me from the planning commission.
It's on your notes and.
I wanna know, is there a way that we can put a time limit? When I first started on the board, we used to have a time limit that our meetings would go.
Yep, till 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So 15
Yeah,
increments after that.
yes,
You have to vote.
I remember doing that.
Yeah, vote.
Yeah. In what way?
You're right, I totally forgot about that.
I'm like, why are we going past 9 o'clock at night? All of us work for a living.
Oh, come on now.
That needs to go in here somewhere, please.
Well, actually, that's just in your that's in your meeting.
We set that up.
You set that up when you set your meeting up. That the meeting is from 6:30 to 9 o'clock.
I don't remember
Or-
we said this in word and I'll give you all.
Yep. I'll send it to you.
You could actually set it up, Kelly, on your agenda. That the meeting is 6:30 to 8 o'clock, an hour and a half. And at 8 o'clock, we have to extend the meeting, we have to vote to extend the meeting.
Start that now.
Huh? Yeah, we could. Now, one other thing that goes along with that is there's no motion, when you set the meeting schedule like that. There's no motion to adjourn. When time expires, you're done. That adjournment is set. That's Robert's rules,
Unless you adjourn prior to.
unless you adjourn prior to. You can make a motion to adjourn prior. If you get your work done and you want to adjourn, you can.
Yeah.
You can't start early. You can never start a meeting early. What's that?
Just seems like these meetings go on forever. I can always remember looking at the clock that was like.
I mean, it's fun on that speed.
As far as that all goes, we're only what, well, I guess 6 months, September, October, November, January, February, March, yeah, it's almost 6 months before the. Still got a half a year to go, but you could either do that on the agenda as the chair, or you could put it before the board and vote on it. You can suspend the rules, any part of the rules from a board vote. You know, like when we had the big room full of people. You could set time limits, you got 3 minutes,
Yeah, we gotta put that in.
you know, you vote, but you do that, that's in Robert's rules, you as the chair do that at the meeting. When you recognize something's going on and say, look, I'd like to ask the board Set a 3 minute.
Everybody in one time.
Everybody's
got to on their phone.
Yeah.
See, I would mine out in the car. I don't know how to shut it off. There you go.
Okay, so next item on the agenda, political sign.
Is it possible for public comment? I had my hand up. This is August Murray.
I'm sorry, we don't have a secretary, so we don't know that your hand is up.
Yeah, it is right there.
Okay, I had it up so long, my arm is so sore. I'm just joking. I was just going to comment briefly. I provided the chair and the town manager with a review that I did. I went through the questions in the 4 pages, and I was able to find in Robert's rules a section for each of those areas. At VLCT and both the Secretary of State recommend Robert's rules as a parliamentary authority. It's probably the most widely used set of rules of orders across towns and cities in the United States. And in the second part of that letter, Kelly, it actually, I broke down areas where you and the board could address some of those specific concerns, such as time limits when you're presiding over the meetings. But the only thing I would say is I would just advocate that we continue to use Robert's rules as a default. But there are many ways that you can modify it to achieve the goals that the select board wants to have good, efficient, managed meetings. So I just sent that letter, not to read it into the record, but just as a tool to help you go through those questions. And I think Mike Todd is also, he also had a good point there too about, adjourning. You can set the time to adjourn. You can set times for public to comment. So many tools available to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, August.
August, would you like me to forward this to the rest of the board?
I'm sure, and I'd be glad to help. The nice thing about rules of procedures that are standardized across all the committees and boards in town, or when you're doing these multi-town engagements, most of the other towns we're interacting with, or most of the people that come from other committees, are familiar with the same types of rules. So you're welcome to share that, or if I can be of any help.
Thank you.
Thank you, August.
Political sign policy discussion. Mike gave us something, and then he took it back.
I did know. It's right here.
Then he brought it back again. That's it.
No, you weren't here. At the last meeting, you weren't here. I brought it in, so that he could copy it and get it out to everybody.
I didn't get a copy of it yet.
He must have forgot that when he was writing all these other rules down.
I had it for you at the last meeting.
Yeah.
I wasn't here. Did you get one, Nathan? Nathan didn't get one either.
All right.
But I remember when you brought that in the last time that we.
That was almost a year ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And Mike had that.
Yeah, and it's from VLCT.
Yeah.
It's actually, it doesn't start on the first page, or I don't think.
No.
It starts on the second page. US Supreme Court rules on town sign code, the town signs code violates the First Amendment. Yeah. I don't, do we need to get into this?
Well, I think you can summarize it, then.
Well, let's start with why we're talking about it to begin with. What's that came from you, Rika? Yes, we do.
Something Rita brought up.
It was a request.
Right, then, because, when I read through the state statutes, they're, is that right, the statute is state? Anyway, the rules, there are fairly specific rules around where you can, can't post signs and so forth. And the question was really sort of, well, do we enforce those rules? Do we not? Who enforces the rules? How do we, or is it just sort of like, hey, nobody's enforcing the rules? Why would you say we can get away with it? Or, and this is not pointing fingers at anybody in particular, it's just what do we have? How do we deal with things when, when an issue comes up? around signage. We just, yeah, right? But for
I
now,
remember right, this had to do with, an election, it was political signs, I believe there is state law about how long you have to, before you have to pay for signing on. And the state has rules on their right of way, like where you can place things along their right of way, or if you can or can't. And I think it was more geared towards, does the town have that same policy about their town right of way? And if the sign gets left for more than, I think it's 30 days after an election, I don't know the exact language. If we're gonna have something for that in our town, bylaws.
And there's also a window, cause there's a time, you can't put the sign up until a certain.
before.
Yeah, some number, I think it's like 45 days or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, I forget, but
For the taking them down,
no, for putting them up.
for.
Yeah,
45 days.
so many days
Prior
before
to-
the election.
Prior to the election, you there's a window.
Oh, maybe I'm
Okay.
thinking of what Floanne had said at the time, which was. I think just custom, I don't know whether it was written down, but she had said at the time that it was 2 weeks and you were expected to take them down. 24 hours.
I think it's longer than 2 weeks, that's
A lot
allowed.
of the issue with the political signs where it was a very heated time.
Mhm.
During that election, during the election. And people were putting signs in the town right away. But it's not town property, it's owned by the person that owns the property, so if that person doesn't want the sign there, they have a right to take it out and get rid of it. Or if they want the sign there, they have a right to take, put it in there. So we don't own the land in our right of way, we have the right of way, 25 feet from the center of the road. People were assuming it's a town right away, I think, whatever I want there for political sign.
Right.
That was the issue we were having at that time.
We're getting,
People would put this sign on this property and somebody would take it down.
Mhm.
Because they didn't want it on their property. So people aren't clear about how a town right of way works. The state owns their right of ways. The town.
But then there were also, I remember on the corner of, where Center Road comes into 131, when there were signs tied to the garden, or the.
Correct.
Guardrail.
They were out in the roadway.
Yeah.
A lot of it stemmed from. Might be live on 106. Somebody come and put a sign in the right of way, but on your property, if your property went to the road. And that person would remove the sign because they don't want it on their property, and that's their right, because. I guess 106 isn't a good example, but.
Well, actually, I'm glad you did bring that up, because I do have signs, political signs that end up at the bottom of the road for other candidates. And every one of them has always come and asked me permission to do that.
Right, so it's not town property, that's where. There was a lot of animosity during that cycle because of that. People are using the intersections on the transfer station. And the person that owns the land has the right to put what they want to the sign there. Yeah. It's not town property.
So the state has regulations. Our zoning bylaws exempt political signs from our zoning bylaw regulations currently.
But there should be, like, the time limit should be, because of the state.
You would have to follow the state statute, because we're in the state of Vermont. So,
I just think there's not a lot of clarity on how a town right of way works.
but does that necessitate an ordinance to regulate these things?
That's the big thing. Writing it down and educating people, if they come and ask and have a complaint,
Yeah,
that's just an answer.
right, the process,
This is, the Forest Pierce owns this land up to the center of Thrasher Road. If she does not want a sign on her property, that's her choice, it's not the town's property,
Mhm.
that's what we do.
we're redoing the website. I have a spot there under elections or whatever that addresses political signs. You must have landowner permission, you cannot use the town or state right away, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Put it in there, just.
And before an election, the big 4-year cycle or 2026, a little update.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Broad has a really nice one on the website.
well, and then just reference state statute, right?
Yeah, the political signs.
I don't think our zoning bylaws exempt political signs. I
Yes.
was reading it today, you couldn't find political in there anywhere. It does have exemptions.
See you all, guys.
Doesn't say
Wait a minute.
Cause I moved it.
So. Go ahead, August.
Actually, this is Andrea Murray. Thank you. I just wanted to comment that there was a Supreme Court ruling, and I believe 2017, that we do need to be cautious of. And that is that to regulate any sign that's a temporary sign, if you have to read the sign to regulate it, it violates the First Amendment freedom of speech. So I would just caution the town on that aspect of it. If you're going, you can regulate all signs, but you cannot regulate political signs. You cannot regulate just event signs. You can't regulate just church signs. It's either all or nothing. So I just wanted to point that out and caution, because that is a significant lawsuit that the town just cannot afford. And the state has not updated their laws, because they've been focused on a lot of other things that were much more important right now. But eventually the state will get to update those laws that limits types of signs and durations. But until then, I just would caution that, you know, if you have to read the sign to regulate it, it violates First Amendment. Thank you.
That's the VLCT document that I gave to the board, Andrea.
Yep,
It-
awesome.
It's a copy of that, Supreme Court ruling.
Perfect.
Right.
Well, I guess I should reiterate what I was saying, it's not just political signs, it's a yard sale sign, it's a church summer sign. If you're putting it in the town right away, that is not a public space that's available for any kind of sign without the landlord permission that owns that property. You don't own the property, it's not that written. It's that kind of posting.
That was
It's a managed signs in these.
Right. But it should be just political signs. If I put a yard sale sign up in front of your house without talking to you, that would not be.
Yep, then everybody's gonna go to her house and not see the stuff you're selling.
You see that down in Springfield, everybody puts their little beats over town stuff.
Yeah.
That's state property.
What if we, I'll send everyone one, Brattleboro's sign. A guide to political signs.
Well, that's just something that's going on the, just get it on the website.
You just tailor it to Weathersfield.
Well, it's just listing state statute, right?
Yeah,
And it's saying where right of ways are. Right, that's, I mean, it's small and it's far away at this point. It's sort of summarizing by the time it's a bit, but.
It seems like the two things that Ray's concerned about, and I agree with, are the rights of ways, whether they're state or town, and personal property. Those are the two things that really.
Well, also, what do you do if you have signs posted on your personal property that keep appearing, right? Like was one of the.
Set up a trail cam. Take a picture.
That's not a,
I mean,
I would really get personal property stolen, somebody that.
I was just gonna say,
Involved in.
I said the opposite, was the opposite, which is like, people keep putting stuff
Oh, yeah.
on your property, right?
Same thing, they're trespass.
communication, this is a communication issue.
People assume that I don't own
It's
the
a-
property,
it's
so
so often the case.
whatever I want.
Correct, and I do like this clarity, sending something out, you get to use your fancy e-alert. For the website, like, hey, this is, it's not a bad idea to do before every election, and
Absolutely.
and summer yard sale season or whatever.
I'm gonna say, at any time you start seeing stuff popping up, that you think you have to address it.
If somebody calls this complaint, that you can give them paper or
Yeah.
point them in the right direction, and they're all getting the same thing.
I like that answer,
Yeah.
Yep.
I do too.
and then it's like. Just set in statute, so. That's, I think, the right way to do it.
I agree.
Versus having a separate policy when you already have. Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the guide.
Okay, moving on. Code of ethics. Investigation enforcement ordinance first reading.
I thought this was aesthetics, code of aesthetics.
Edits. Oh, edits. Edits.
Dress code like about that.
Guess what I was saying is I'd rather talk about dress code.
Nothing's been changed in this since the last time, right?
No.
Okay, I guess we need to, call this the first reading.
Now you're gonna take a motion for that to get
Yeah,
there.
do you need a motion to call this a first reading? Someone like to make the motion? There's second,
Second.
any discussion?
Didn't we at some point talk it, right, there's these lines left in here that are insert,
Yes.
that we need to actually put in Brandon's name, where it says insert Brandon.
I think you guys designated Suzanne and I.
I just, where that should be inserted, should be inserted.
Yeah.
That's all.
So this replaces the current existing code of ethics, correct? Does all of that?
That's a policy, this is an ordinance.
What's, huh?
We have an ethics policy, this is an ordinance.
And enforces the policy.
This enforces the policy. Okay. Okay. I'm not in disagreement. I'm just wondering if there needs to be some reference back to that document in certain places. Yes, no?
Hmm.
So that you know what you're working with.
Under the statement of purpose, the purpose of this ordinance is to enact procedures for the investigation of complaints that alleged municipal officer has violated Vermont's municipal code of ethics. Maybe that should say Weathersfield.
Or even right there. You know, because it's not just the state, we might have something that we've added that's above and beyond the state in here that you might, so you reference both.
Okay.
But more importantly, I was thinking like, the one that stands out for me, which is, and it's correct in here, it's in section 5 enforcement A4. Upon majority vote in an open meeting, the legislative body may request parentheses, but not order that the offending municipal officer resigns from their office. Doesn't it say in the policy that see, an elected official cannot be removed?
You can't, in this, you just request.
I know, that's what I just was using it as an example. There might be other places where, do we need to reference back to some other place in the policy specifically, or is. If it's all covered that clearly, it's great. You know, because you're right, you can't force anybody off of one of the, you can't force an elected person off of the board. An appointed board, like a planning commissioner, this board could remove them. Because we put them there. But you can't do that, like us. Or Floanne or Lister or anybody like that, you can't fire them. That's another discussion for another day, because some of those positions are positions of employment that are paid positions technically without supervision.
Any more discussion on the first reading, any more changes you need made? The next one?
No, I'm good.
Okay, we don't catch this time, we'll catch next time.
Yep.
All those in favor, first reading? First reading is done.
No, wasn't that motion, was this on the agenda as a first reading?
Yes,
Oh, I apologize.
number 14.
I got lost earlier. Thank you.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the town manager update.
Just have a couple of quick things. There's a policies and procedures update there. I'm not gonna go through it all. Once we get done with the personnel policy and the ethics ordinance, we'll add in some of these other policies. I'm advertising a winter fuel request for bid. For all buildings, in town, this is something, in the past, we had. Different buildings serviced by different oil providers. So we're doing it all in one. And seeing if we can get a better price. We also didn't own the fire stations. Either, so they did their own contracts with oil providers, so now. We're doing them all together. So Center Road culvert replacement. We advertised now on 825, it's still on 925. To spend.
Where is it?
Coming from the golf course, just before you get to Well Orchards on Center Road.
Oh, okay, yes, okay, yeah.
We have a grant for that as well.
Martin Oil Hall parking lot's been brought to my attention several times over the years.
Oh, I wonder why.
So. I'm gonna discuss this with the trustees and see if it's still. They still have interest, and if they do, we'll get estimates and then we'll bring it back to you guys to pick. Open positions, the transfer station, we are advertising for a transfer station attendant and a highway worker. So we started interviewing this week. I think we have 8 interviews lined up for the transfer station. And
Is this an additional, or is this in replacing somebody?
we're replacing somebody is resigning, Mr. Pecknell. The vehicle that he did in his life.
Retired, is he?
Yeah, you retired that 6 years ago.
Yeah, no, that was,
You retired from retiring.
yeah.
So you have 8 people already for the transfer station?
We got 26 applicants, so
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, it was incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, it was,
You know, percentage of that is people that on everything.
yeah,
So.
Oh.
There's totally by the candidates.
and we had a fantastic interview.
I thought it was.
Good.
So
The highway department, we don't, that we have.
I think we've got 15 applicants for the highway department.
What's that for
A
John?
lot of them are. PBL drivers, they're finding what they are, they have a certain endorsement, same thing that in the past. That's again why we're trying to switch over to automatic trucks. That's a huge obstacle with a lot of those.
We have interviews lined up until the 17th, bringing them meeting again tomorrow to review the rest of the applicants. And then set up more interviews. We hope to fill the positions going by next week, this week, I hope so.
These are the transfers, sorry, the highway positions open, it's one of the latest hire we had is getting done, he wants to move to travel. But that was nothing, that was probably nothing.
Say it's moving to Rutland, he wants that murder from.
How long was this person with us?
Every year. No,
Just over a year.
no.
The VLCT Town Fair is coming up. Is it more like you want to say? The VLCT Town Fair is coming up, on street closed on October 8th. We do that every year, and all the employees do the town fair. It's pretty much all I have this week. Solutions for unlicensed dogs, the sheriff and I and Joanne met, and we're sending out a letter on letterhead tomorrow, on sheriff's office letterhead. We'll get more people registering their dogs. Mike.
What are you looking at me for? I got a dog.
October 13th.
Kind of dog.
Holiday this week now.
What's that?
October 13th is Monday, it's holiday.
Oh, is it?
No,
Mark, it's the Homeless Day. 30 in advance, be a little warning. Okay, future agenda items, is there anyone?
did we do an appointment? Don't we have an appointment?
Yeah, not that far yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, Mike,
Appointments, I thought future agenda items, yep.
future agenda items, is there anything else that anyone needs to add to that? Please say no.
No,
Okay.
appointments, we have an appointment here, I see.
Next meeting, the sheriff would like to come in and give a report.
And how many dollars is left? And who would like to read home?
Executive.
Okay, good. You get an unlicensed one of them.
How do we wanna do this? I see we have a resignation and an appointment. Do the resignation first, since it's first on the appointments? Okay, we, August Murray wants us to accept his resignation for the budget committee. For a 1-year term. Does that mean you're resigning now, August?
Yes, I'm gonna be joining another committee and I'm stretched a little thin, so I'm resigning from the budget committee effective now.
What if we say no?
Then I'll do the best job I can.
I urge my colleagues to vote no. A motion to accept the resignation of August Murray. Let me see, what would I add to that? With
Committee effective.
effective immediately
Sign from the budget.
from the budget committee, yes. Accept August Murray's resignation from the budget committee effective immediately. With, let me see, well, with regrets.
There's a second,
Second that.
all those in favor of accepting this? Signify by saying aye.
Aye,
Any opposed? Extensions? Hate to see you go.
not happy.
Thank you.
The 2 vacancies, that's before August was on, right? So do we
Yes.
now have 3 vacancies,
Yes.
and we're just heading into budget season?
Yeah.
August, rethink this one.
Okay, we have,
We could have said no.
yeah, we could have, but then we're quitting anyway, so.
No, he already asked. If we said no, it's too late.
We have, someone who would like to become a Art Memorial Hall trustee, and Ashley Bunnell. She's available and I would like to volunteer my time to help Weathersfield. I'm a homeowner. And
She keeps some property well managed.
I'll maintain my own property, okay?
And my husband is on Parks and Rec.
A motion to accept Ashley Bunnell as a Martin Memorial Hall trustee for 1 year.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I can second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. You can welcome her aboard. Okay, any other business?
Yeah,
Yes,
just, this should have been earlier. I just forgot about it.
what did I skip?
Nothing, not you. You didn't do it. This should have been me under comments. But seeing how we're in any other business, this Thursday at 1 o'clock at the Veterans Hospital in White River is a remembrance celebration or service. I think it lasts an hour and a half to 2 hours. And that's a pretty great event for anybody that's interested in going up to the VA on Thursday. Starts at 1 o'clock.
Rika had something.
And just because, again, should have come with comments earlier, on the 19th, which is,
The Friday.
yes. Joe Majors, our Mrs. Senator is coming to do a public, he should put or offered a bill about community nursing. And so he's going to come down for a public meeting with us at the schoolhouse on Friday the 19th. And I think we have, what did we say, 9 to noonish, something like that. So I have to check exactly on the hours. I think he was planning to be here at the 9 o'clock hour, but I just wanted to let you know because it was something the business of a community nurse had come up
I also
a couple of months ago.
just want to mention that the school is having their annual paw drop also on the 19th, goes in the evening. So, you know, a lot
What's
of,
that?
it's the paw drop.
Watch out for the sheriff.
They climb up the ladder and they drop a bucket full of little paws, you buy them for $1, and they have all these prizes and then donate it. So it's a busy thing, a lot of kids come, they get their face painted, they. All kinds of stuff,
You bring it, stick your face, please.
yeah, you can.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Approve the warrants is next on the agenda.
Motion to approve the warrants dated September 4th, 2025. General fund payroll total $16,242.39. Operating expense $107,225.93. Highway payroll $9,929.87. Operating expense $20,630.47. Payroll, solid waste management fund. Total $2,213.91. Operating expense $27,251.89. Library payroll $2,497.25. Zero operating. Categorically, First Light Library Internet Grant, NIMRIC, September reappraisal, Twin State Garage Highway, PACIF, Heritage Engineering, Little Escutney Bridge, I&W Soils Engineering, Little Escutney Bridge, Valley News, Parks and Rec expense. Total $21,787.05. Grand totals, payroll. That was an operating expense for those, not payroll. Grand totals, payroll, $30,883.42. Operating expense, $176,895.34.
There's a second. Discussion, I do. I hate that. Yeah, why, what did we purchase for, on the first page under general fund? For equipment for $2,614.
From Amazon.
From Amazon.
You bought that computer?
Yep.
Right, what, the one he has,
The reason being.
does it cook for you too?
So I was using my personal MacBook to operate this and some things upstairs in my office. And it wasn't powerful enough.
You don't have to go into detail, I just wanted to know, you're extending the meeting.
It is an expensive purchase that aside. So that computer actually burned up. So I bought a new computer. That was this computer. So I had this identical computer at my house. And I tested it here and it worked really well. So. I got the same one now.
So you brought that one in from home and you got the new one at home? Is that what I heard?
No, I have this computer as well, but I burned up by the computer because it wasn't powerful enough to operate this equipment. But it was old anyway, and so,
You ready for the next question?
yes.
The sheriff's department. Why did we go up from 1 month to the other in pay?
So in
By
the contract.
What page are we on?
$7,937.
What page are we on? Where are we at?
I'm on page 64 of 78 or page 4 of 4 on the general fund.
64 of 78 works best.
So in the contract, there's an $11,000 contingency for additional sheriff's hours. And there was a couple of incidents in town that required substantial time.
That's all you have to say.
But it's not going to exceed the $11,000 contingency in the contract. So I guess that's it.
My next question, this is the last one. Under the highway, you have for a garage doors, at $6,100. And then somewhere on the next page, you see $5,400. So what did it cost us? $6,100? 5,400, or was it those two together?
I combine those together, one's from our special revenue account, one's from the highway department.
Okay.
And we're gonna get reimbursed for 50% of the total for passive. The insurance company needs a grant.
50% of all that together?
And that's what's coming in through the special revenue.
Right. Passive is a grant we received for safety.
That is all I have.
Good questions.
Okay, all those in favor of accepting the warrants as is?
I,
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Executive session.
make a motion, executive session in Vermont, VSA 1, section 313, 1E. 1E, what is that? What is that personnel? E,
You.
legal? Okay,
That we.
just to make sure everybody knows.
You're welcome to this.
And that motion includes the town manager
That's it.
Yes.
And Ray Stapleton.
and Ray Stapleton? Okay, can you shut off SAPA? Last time you couldn't shut off SAPA, we had to go upstairs and do something.